Gabe Miller Music. Today I'm going to be making a kind of futuristic, spacey trap beat from scratch on the Maschine Plus. I'm going to walk you through the entire process that I go through and a bit of the interface of the Maschine Plus as well. So whether you're seeing whether the Maschine Plus is right for you to get, whether you're new to it or you're just looking for inspiration, hopefully this will be valuable for you. So let's jump into the Maschine. The first thing I will typically do is navigate to groups, and I've got a few expansion packs downloaded here. I've been using a pure drip quite a bit for some kind of futuristic trap and hip hop. Let me find a kit here. That's a decent start. Let's just go with it. Nice 808. It sounds kind of like a loop. Okay, so I'll come back to that. This might be nice if I were to pitch it down a bit. Once again, I'll come back to that. So I'm trying to find not only my main groove, but also little pockets I can put in other bits of like percussion and sound effects. So I think I have an idea of basically what I want my groove to be, so I'm going to tap a tempo. That'll do for now. I can always dial that in further later. I'm going to shift to turn on the metronome, and then if I hold down shift record, it'll give me a count in, and then it'll let me record as many bars as I want, and that will define the length of the pattern, which is nice. I personally really like that as a way to just immediately get into it, not have to really set anything up. So let's just try it. And I'm going to put in some percussion there. So first of all, it's shift quantize. Hear that? So that didn't come out quite the way I hoped. So let me clean that up a bit. First of all, that tempo has got to go up. So let me go to settings, turn up the tempo a bit. That's much closer to what I wanted. So I'll leave that there for now. I know it's at like an uneven amount, but close enough for the moment. What I want next, bring back that extra step. So what I could do is go in and do like a note repeat. In this case, I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to hold this down to pull up this note. And then I'm going to change the position, hold down shift, and then I can scoot this forward by however much I want. And now, let's leave it that way for now. That's kind of nice. And while I'm at it, let me go into the mixer, go back into pad mode. Let's do some panning. I can hit this to get into panning mode. Send this one to the right a bit. Next up, I want to add one extra bit of percussion, so I'm just going to go to the step sequencer. Good enough for now, and then I can turn this down a tad. Chances are your hi-hats are always too loud, so I'm going to preempt that right now. Now about this 808. What I first want to do is figure out where that's hitting. So let me go to keyboard. I want to go to plugin and add something to remove a bit of that low end. So I'm going to get a filter. This is a low pass. I want to change that to a high pass. You can hear the effect that that has. And then I want to distort this guy a little bit. So actually, let's try a saturator. I want to keep that subtle for now. That'll be probably something good to build on. So let me shift quantize that. And in this case, I know not everyone is a fan of this, but I'm going to sidechain the 808 to the kick. They're conflicting a little bit, and I don't want to deal with like pitching stuff up and down. I just want to do this more directly. So by the way that you do that is once you've pulled up a compressor, you go to the second window, and then you change your input source to whatever you want to sidechain to. In this case, the kick. Good start. Let's actually start a new clip. I want to do that because I want to start pulling up some synth presets, and I don't want to mix the pack by itself and kind of random scattered sounds. I can just kind of add stuff willy-nilly to this group and not really worry about it. So let's go to browser again, and we're instead going to go to instruments. Let's try a Monarch. See if I can find anything interesting in there. And I can start to narrow this down if I want, which I actually will. Got some subtypes. That's kind of neat. Let's do soft. That's kind of nice. Okay, you hear that distortion? I'm going to nip that in the bud right now. So let's go to plugin instance, change to master. Now I can add a limiter just to the entire thing. So this patch is boring. So let's go back to sound. Let me see if I can adjust anything to make it a little more interesting. Maybe turn the cutoff down a bit. I'm actually going to send this up an octave. Let's go back to the plugin instance. Ow. Still needs something. So let me add one of my favorite effects, grain delay. And my favorite trick with this is to send it up an octave. This is such a nice effect. And then turn reverse on. Just adds so much life to a sound. And I'm guessing this is like way too much low end on it, so let me just cut that out real quick. That'll do for now. Quantize that. Hear how that sounds. You can hear that little delay in that last note there. Let me see if I can find where that happened. Here, so I can just take that position, scoot this dude back a bit. I'm going to go back to this drums mix real quick because that's not quite doing it for me. Because this kick doesn't hit as hard as I would like. Turn that up a bit, and let me add a little bit of processing. I think this could absolutely benefit from some proper, either saturation or distortion. Let's try both. Ooh, that is much more like it. Yeah. That brought it to life pretty much immediately. And I think this clap could just stand to be a bit louder. This hi-hat a bit quieter. What if this dude got a little bit of reverb? Just a touch. Maybe give this clap just a little bit of reverb as well. So that's way too much. Subtle. Very subtle. From here, I can continue to build. You'll notice my CPU usage actually isn't too bad, so I've got some room to keep adding stuff. So let me just stay within the confines of this other group and add another element. Let's try a different synth. Oh, that could be neat. Let's see if this patch is actually polyphonic. It is. Just a little ARP in the background could be kind of nice. That could definitely use some kind of effect. What if we tried a frequency shifter? Get some EQ on this as well. What's ice? That's just a really kind of shimmery reverb. That's neat. Let's just try and record something. Quantize that. And I want something else to balance that out. I'm thinking of panning that a bit to one side and then panning some other kind of element a bit to another side. Still doing okay on CPU. I've had the CPU performance like vary, which is kind of odd. Seemingly the same kinds of projects will take up a bunch more CPU, but now that it's on camera, it's decided to behave itself. Let's once again try a different synth. I think I've used this one before in a project. Maybe that even popped up on this channel, but I can't resist. Quantize that. Now we can do a little bit of panning. So this dude should go over here. This dude should go over here. I think that's actually a bit too much, both in terms of panning and in terms of like difference in elements. So I'm going to do some extra EQ to kind of even them out a bit. So this guy has too much high end, and I think the other one has not enough high end, is what's going on here. Actually, that's much closer to what I wanted. And then I think this could definitely use some reverb as well. Let's try that ice reverb again. That's kind of neat. Turn the size up. Neat. I really like where that's going here. That's absolutely a good start for a proper full beat, either for something that could be made to have enough space to have some bars on top of it, or something that could land itself on a beat tape. Either way, in this case, with this kind of track, I would probably end up exporting all of the individual elements, bringing them into Reaper, and doing my mixing and arrangement just in a separate session. That's how I would approach it personally. And on the other hand, if I was going to do like a full jam or song for YouTube, I would probably just duplicate the patterns a bunch of times and then have different versions with different amounts of complexity. And then I could do a live jam using those. That would definitely take a bit of setup, so I'd have to really want to do it. But I have done that with some minimal techno, and there's going to be a full video involving that coming out pretty soon. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see my initial thoughts on the Maschine Plus, as well as a bunch of beats, you can click or tap up over here. And if you'd like to see more futuristic hip-hop beat making, you can click or tap up over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with a new video in a little bit.